Welcome back to my trading vlog, where 80% of my views come from returning subscribers. If that's you, hit the thumbs up button. If it's not you, hit subscribe. Let's start with SPY on the hourly time frame because Powell testified, and sure enough, he accelerated the markets in a motive wave heading down in a corrective phase. You're going to see that annotated as A, B, and C in yellow here, completing a wave B on the wave degree higher. This supports a push higher tomorrow, and I expect Powell to accelerate that. Crazy, right? I'm sure everyone and their dog is just getting super bearish right now, and I'm the bear, but I'm actually calling for this uptrend to continue because SPY is still truly in an uptrend on a larger time frame. Why do I think that? Well, let me zoom out a little bit and I'll show you this I'm calling it an ending diagonal triangle. It's kind of hard to see here. Really, it shows up better on SPX. If you are an AMC and GameStop trader, just hold on, bear with me while I talk about this. I am expecting that we're going to see a surge higher, and we're going to watch the price cross this pattern much quicker and faster than anyone is really expecting. And this kind of correlates nicely with the RSI reaching oversold. It tends to do that when you reach an extreme in a corrective waveform. So you hit A, B, and C, boom, you're going to hit that oversold right there. Typically, you can use the RSI to read into these waveforms really well. And I'm going to say it, this is probably going to be the last big bounce. If we get this massive surge I'm looking for, it's probably going to be the last one we get for a long time before the markets just completely fall apart, if they don't just fall apart right now. Because they could. And that's because of the dollar, which is making some incredibly bullish moves today. I had supposed we were in a triangle shown in red, and, well, it's the dollar strength kept pushing up, reaching that 100% target at 105.6. And I forecasted that a long time ago. I saw this impulse that started back in February and peaked towards, well, the same week. And I just did an extension off of that. And sure enough, we hit that target. I called it this rising diagonal triangle through here is actually a leading diagonal triangle. Yes, it points up. Everyone has taught you this is bearish, but it's not always bearish. It can be very bullish. We had a consolidation through here. It looks like a triangle, and that's appropriate for wave B in a corrective ABC pushing up. And it could be that we're about to watch the dollar fly, but hang on, this was a very strong push for the dollar to make, and so I'm expecting a temporary retracement, maybe not all the way down there, but a retracement back down to this trend line, and this would give us the context for that push in SPY. It would also create a fantastic flag in the dollar, and the bullish breakout of that flag would give us a new target much higher at 106, and off to the races we go, forming a new motive wave heading higher for wave C of this big surge. So I'm thinking the dollar comes down a little bit, SPY pushes up, and then it all pops all at once and the markets reverse and the bear market begins. I don't know how long that's going to take, but it does support a rally tomorrow in SPY, and that's assuming that the markets just don't continue to dump in this overly pessimistic nonsense response to what someone is saying. Why would it matter what Powell actually says? If you actually watch the markets move before Powell spoke. Going into AMC now, I believe we could be in a high and tight flag, but there's a danger of a head and shoulder top. The price is grinding against that neckline shown in blue here. I suppose this is the right shoulder, and we aren't quite ready to flip bearish here yet. Not yet. Implied volatility is still dropping. It's not rising yet. When it begins to rise, then we're going to understand whether or not this has been a corrective phase or the beginning of a motive wave. But because it's falling, I'm going to say it's corrective. And it's been falling since the price passed above 595. So implied volatility is dropping, let's see here, above 595 in AMC, and implied volatility is rising above 396 in SPY. Watch those two relative levels, watch the IV very carefully, and if we get a big bounce in AMC, it's very possible we see a bigger double bottom form through here, and I'm going to be following this trend, and if we get a pop here, you never know, I may just trade it. I don't know. Going into GameStop came back down and touched the lower trend line of this triangle I'm following. This is pretty typical in a triangle to have two consecutive touch points like that along a trend before the pattern crosses the price crosses the pattern quickly. Something similar almost showing up here. It's not totally irregular. It does happen more often than you may think. As you can see, when we finished wave B here at the minute degree, waves let's see, the peak of that wave B and then the peak of the minuet wave 2, they're pretty close together, and then the price makes a big move. This could be the beginning of something just like that. We may even start to say bullish divergence in the RSI. It'll set up if there's any more downside in GameStop. So I'm thinking actually that the markets go up. I know, it's weird. It's so weird. And I'm not super comfortable about it. I'm really not. Let's talk about Bitcoin really quickly. I didn't take a peek at the charts. I just gotta go through all this stuff. I don't have a lot of time today, unfortunately. Bitcoin moving down, continuing to move down through this broadening top. That's just kind of what I've been saying is we're shooting for 21,883. We're almost there. Overall, looking for a touch along this trend line at the bottom for a fifth touch. And still stair-stepping. Still following expectations there. Let's go to Playboy next because I don't want to leave out Playboy. I'm going to have to skip over some things today. Implied volatility ticking up as the price begins to move beyond this triangle that I drew, and maybe I even fix it a little bit. It's possible that the first touch point's a little overextended. The price range here is narrowing. It's narrowing a lot. And the options statistics are telling me that people are buying into this, into calls, I believe. And so I'm bullish on Playboy for a lot of reasons because the fundamentals are improving. They aren't good yet. They're improving. And I expect that we'll get the better data later this month when they report earnings. And also their product's entirely new. It's all about sex positivity. A lot of people don't understand that because guess what? It's a new company. Hugh Hefner's dead. And then there's a new guy in charge. And I think he's doing a good job. Let's move on from Playboy and talk about the VIX. This is supposedly the fear index. It's been behaving weirdly, very weirdly. We reached that 1846 level, which is the 161.8% extension. So I'm supposing we've had waves 1, 2, and all the way down to 3. This little 3-wave structure through here. This is A, B, and C for wave 4. Wave 5 pointing down, trying to come into contact with this trend line, this supporting trend line. That would also support, guess what? A rise in SPY. Implied volatility here dropping, finding a low. Again, I'm thinking that all these things are kind of pointing to a market bounce tomorrow. A market bounce. How weird is that? Am I a bull? No, I'm not a bull. But I do think the uptrend here is probably appropriate. Get the bulls complacent. Get everybody on the same page. Look at how stupid the bears are. They're going to say the market's going to go super high. It's going to be euphoric. And then it's going to be all over. The drop of a hat. Tesla coming down. I said it's very open. Be open-minded. This thing dropping. I said yesterday, and here we do have a significant decline. However, I do want to say that the low in the RSI is higher than the previous valley. So, and as the price is not making a new low, this is technically a bullish divergence still. And I want to also note that I usually see two bottoms when we have that overthrow or the overshoot of the AC line for point E of the triangle right here, which would make me think, hey, double bottom in Tesla, double bottom in AMC. We have a reversal in SPY. The dollar starts to retrace. It all starts to line up. And then when I go to Apple, it's a little more difficult. It's a little more difficult, but I can't get the wave count here very good. I can't. So I'm going to lean on my Bulkowski chart pattern analysis and say we're in a right angle and descending broadening formation. And this move from the bottom third touch point of the pattern to the top, that this has been, I suppose this is actually technically the second. You see, when you have two consecutive touches like this, and then the price, this is what I was talking about just earlier. Touch here, 2 consecutive points along one trend line, and then it's just like off to the races till you reach the other side of the pattern. That's exactly what I'm expecting SPY to do. Maybe we drop a little bit more and then it bounces and it runs up to the top of the rising wedge it's in. Anyway, so I'm supposing that this is motive wave 1, this dip is 2, and 3 will begin, and that will give us a partial decline, and then we'll get a bullish breakout and a push higher, and the markets are off to the races heading up. And I think Powell might even actually accelerate that. I don't know, it might take a little longer than I anticipate. Just always remember that. I did note that SLV today fell pretty tough. Back into this downtrend, setting a new low, so we're setting the downtrend. That's horrific. Wow, that is crazy. What's that? 18? The hourly RSI falling to 18. I'm calling it a buying opportunity. As I expect the dollar to continue to rally, I'm going to keep saying it's just a buying opportunity, right? Really, gold and silver are things you're going to want to hold for a very long term. And I have been flipping bearish here and forecasting the extent of the downtrend. GLD, again, could fall to 158. It's important to remember GLD and SLV are equities. They are not precious metals themselves. Just bear that in mind. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. I do like that saying, actually. I really do. NVIDIA today having less trouble than a lot of other stocks. kind of holding up nicely towards that 237 level, but still not making me any more bullish or bearish. It's kind of just like listing sideways. If the markets overall are pretty happy, I think we could get an inverted head and shoulder through here. I kind of see that shaping up, and we could get a push higher. But again, Nvidia's just been kind of floating sideways. Not much to say there. And with that, I think I want to wrap this up. Did I go into SPY? I want to show SPX really quickly, because this is where that ending diagonal triangle is. And I'm going to show this once or twice a day, every single day. This is a big push down, a huge push down today off of that medial line of the triangle. This doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to go down and break down. If we do, though, I have a whole new, not a new count, but I have a count for that. It's actually an SPY, and it's in a chart I labeled blank. I actually looked at it before I did the video. We had a trend reversal at the apex of this symmetrical triangle back here. That occurs where this red arrow is. How funny is that? Triangle apex, reversal in the price. It's a thing. I don't know why it's a thing. I'm not making it up, but someone else has seen it, and, well, there you go. It's actually an Elliott wave thing. If we are indeed seeing an overthrow of wave E, it gets really scary, because then that triangle is an extension of a corrective phase B in a zigzag, where we're going to take the first leg down from the high in 2020 to the low in 2021. Yes, not this ultimate low, but this other low. And we're going to say that we get an extension from the top of that symmetrical triangle, and the target's 317. 317. Yikes. That put us into about where wave 3 of the push higher extended, which makes sense. Again, the markets could just turn down and plummet and drop, and it would be wicked. But actually, I'm thinking we go up for one more push higher in this euphoric, irrational rally, and then we'll get that response. So if you like this content, consider supporting me. I mean, the super thanks are on, but I'm not asking. I'm out of here.